Good morning, Airsofters. It's Gabe from the Minnesota Airsoft Association. It is Saturday, August the 1st, 2026. Kind of, from my point of view, the wind down of the summer. For a lot of people, August starts to get busy with final vacations before school starts, if you're of that age. In Minnesota, I'll just say, for those of you who are cabin people or that kind of thing, you start thinking about when you're going to start closing. So either way, summer's winding down. I am doing a rare morning brain dump as I am heading to Twin Cities Airsoft for their High Intensity Ghost Directive event today. I'm getting ready to meet Cobra Alex and David from Project Echo Airsoft and a bunch of his crew, as well as I know some Night Stalkers are showing up. When we did a poll about where people were planning to play this weekend, it was a resounding. Everyone was heading to TCA this weekend to play that event. I'll just once again say, remember that all our fields are open for open sessions still. So by the time you see this, it'll be later, but always check the schedules. Big Lake Tactical, Crossfire, Champion Valley, also open today, also open the rest of the summer. Watch our weekly rundowns or monthly rundowns so you know what's going on. I wanted to talk about probably two things on my way to the event, and then I know I'll do a brain dump on my way home. The first thing I wanted to talk about was something we talked about at our Wednesday stream last week on the 29th, which was our 25th episode. Shout out to everybody who joined us and who continues to join us. Thanks again. One of the topics we brought up, and kind of to mixed engagement, but I think it's an important thing to keep hammering in, along with things we've been talking about, like how far you're willing to travel, your spheres of travel, your 30 minutes, your 1 hour, then, your 3 hour, and then after that, you're really talking your 6+, and more things start to go into effect. But as it relates to that, the topic we brought up was your decision matrix on when you're deciding where to play. And when is always a factor, work and vacation and the capacity with family and other things. But your decision matrix. And I think, and I don't have the list, which is I'll have to do some of it from memory, was, what are your factors? Distance, obviously, was one of them. Cost, site features, what does the field offer? The kind of game, open session versus milsim light versus op versus full-on milsim. Props. What do you think about on your Wednesday through Friday when you're going, I know I can play this weekend. Here's where I'm going and why. And I think this is an important conversation to have, or a mental exercise to have, because we have a lot of locations. And when I say that, nothing has really changed right now, in the sense that we've always had Big Lake, Crossfire, Champion Valley has new new people running it with Airsoft Armory jumping in this year, but Champion Valley's actually been around. It's kind of it's been the best kept secret from the general Twin Cities area, and then of course Twin Cities Airsoft. So like those four fields have been around, and then Southern Minnesota is going to be building their field down in Austin. We have Indoor Airsoft building and preparing to be ready by fall in Hutchinson. So I don't think many people locally realize how lucky we are in Minnesota and western Wisconsin to have so many locations to choose from. And I mean, I'm not gonna be that guy, maybe a little, who goes, we're spoiled. We are spoiled. We are 100% spoiled. we have the luxury of picking. Many places are like, well, I have one place to go. I have to drive 3 hours. And some of you who are in outstate, Minnesota, or in other areas, you don't have that choice. So you understand this. But those of us in the metro area of Minnesota, the Twin Cities area, 30 minutes to an hour, I have four places I can go. And within the 3 hour zone, I'm going to start to have 3 places I can go. 2 to 3, right? And when indoor airsoft opens, there you go. There's another one. So we 100% have more than most people realize, and it's a real benefit to the community. Definitely, I think the fields are competing more than they ever have. But, competition breeds innovation. So we'll see. Back to the decision matrix. Knowing that you have 4 fields to pick from, what do you pick? Why? What's most important to you when you're thinking about where you're going to go play? For me personally, I'm not playing as much locally this year for sure. And previously, I kind of follow what I'll call the bigger games, or if I just need to test something, right? And I'll also say, from my point of view, I'm in a different circumstance than many of you. With the Minnesota Airsoft Association, I'm often thinking about video and community engagement, and what's the next big game? Can I go and can I help promote that or something like that? So, my viewpoint is not as a straight player. But again, for me, I'm following the bigger games because those have the bigger numbers, bigger community engagement, more people to talk to, more people to see. Distance, I'll just say it, distance isn't a factor that I really think about. Sure, there are days when I'm like, I just don't want to drive, but that's just, then I don't want to go anywhere. So distance really isn't a thing for me. Field, every field in our area has specific and special things that makes them interesting. So, sure, there are days when I'm like, I want more woods, or I want, something tight, smaller, or I want connexes, right? Like, so definitely that's that. I'm thinking about that. I think especially when I'm thinking I want to test out my Lev R15. Well, I need more range for that. Okay, so I need a field that's bigger. More open ranges. So, probably, maybe Crossfire is not the place. Crossfire is where I want a lot more close combat. I don't know. And again, it's all in your own mind that you make these decisions. But, for me, that, like, the types of field, that's not a huge one for me. I know it, and I'll just say it. Some people like certain fields, and they are so loyal and dedicated. Other fields don't even factor in. Cool. Your choice. I think it's a little myopic to not try other fields. And then, the other parts of your decision matrix come into play. Well, if, this field X is 40 minutes and field Y is 50 minutes, I only want to go there because it's closer. Yes, but is it that much closer, So, I am an advocate for every airsoft player should play every field so you know what's available. As I said before, with the multiple fields, where are the fields different? What do you like about certain fields? Like, you might try a new field and go, oh my God, that's something they do. That's something somebody does. That's incredible. Or it might just be a minor change and you go, I really like that rule. And then whether or not you go back to that field, totally up to you, but then you can go back to your home fields and make a much harder push to say, hey, you know what? I went to this other location and they did this. Would you ever consider adding that to your rule set or making it a part of your events? Again, opens up your mind to the options. Props and types of games. I really enjoy games that have a purpose. I mean, the whole thing that we've been doing, that I know Twin Cities Airsoft has been doing since last year for their high intensity is, they're trying to do like a video game tie-in, but I know Blondie's been really working towards having missions and puzzles and things to do. And I haven't been to too many recently, again, because I've been mostly, and when I am, I'm filming or I'm reffing, but I like that. People can always just shoot. Like, that's at open sessions. Every weekend, there are 4 places to find an open session where you can just get your gun off if you want to. But I like to do something. So that does factor in for me. Do I need props? I don't. But I like them. Right? Like, I definitely enjoy it when a field has an extra added thing to engage with as a player. Does it have to be an Ares Alpha box? No. But even when they up that, they escalate the engagement to collect boxes, collect items, retrieve, put a puzzle together, like I said. Like, I actually really enjoy that. Or if it's a dynamic that requires you as a player or you as a team to continue doing something. So, I mean, I've played games where they're like, hey, you're mining for gems, and you can only do so with a spoon. So find the location, dig with a spoon, find gems. You can only carry so many, return them to base. Like, things that many of you would probably associate with like larger games. I like it when people test that stuff at smaller games, open sessions, high intensities. And when I say high intensity is a smaller game, it's not. You're going to have, on a day like today, I'll call it. I bet you 130 players show up to Twin Cities Airsoft today to play High Intensity Ghost Directive. So we'll see later if that prediction holds true. But, again, it's not small, but it's not an operation. It's not GAG, right? GAG is 300 plus players. So I do like that added, and I keep on using the word engagement, but things that challenge my brain a little bit more than just run, shoot, spawn, run, shoot, spawn, run, shoot, spawn. That's fun too. There's a place for it, but it's not everything to me. So, distance, cost. Let's talk cost. Here's what I'll just say. The fields are paying attention. They know what the going rate is to play a game of Airsoft. So, 25 to 30 is your standard green fee. Our local fields are all ones that charge for air, except Champion Valley, but they pad that into their green fee, so you're paying that anyway. So, you have, you're paying $30, $25 to $30 to play a game of Airsoft. Now, larger games, cost goes up a little bit. I expect when I pay more that I'm going to get a little bit more. And some people are like, I won't go to play a bigger open session, just I won't just pay to go for a bigger open session. I hear you, and I don't disagree, but that's also where, again, I expect, well, are there going to be missions? Are there going to be more things to do? I hope so. Am I disappointed if I pay $10 more and I don't get $10 more value? I'm not sure, how you can measure that, but yeah, I do. Like, today I'm expecting, because Blondie has already said, we're going to try something different. We're going to try maybe doing 2 teams and do like more of some role playing, like mercenaries or embedded townspeople kind of thing. Great. Cool. Like, I didn't even bring BDUs today. I am literally dressed like a slug today. And that's very specific. I wanted that. That's 100% that's what I'm going for, man. That's what I wanted. So I'll report back, but in my matrix, that's what I'm looking for. What else am I doing today? So cost is 100% a factor. Limited money, limited time as players. The days of, I just think from just being, I'm a single old man, so I can do a lot on my own, but during the summer, my time is still precious. I could be at my cabin right now. So not everybody can go out every weekend. I'm going to play every field every weekend. There's 4 weekends in a month, 4 to 5. I'm going to go to every field every weekend. Wow, that's a lot of money, man. Factor into that, and this goes into distance, of course, is your driving costs. Gas is up. Gas costs money. I've been tracking my Airsoft purchases generally for a couple of years, and it's stupid, and I should be ashamed of myself. But things like driving, I haven't been, but I've been tracking it now for a multitude of reasons, not the least of which is because I'm a nonprofit now. I can actually write that off, or I can get reimbursed for that. But like, I was looking at how much I've driven this year for Airsoft. It's a lot, right? And so, and a different situation, like I'm going out on Saturdays and Sundays, and a lot of that's to either help or promote. But either way, I'm like, yeah, that adds up. That totally adds up. So I said we were talking green fees and what you're paying to play a game, but now add on that your travel. And since we're in that vein, and I'm not spiraling too much because I'm talking mostly local, but for there's some of you who are traveling to play a little bit farther, so that's more money in gas. But where are you staying? Is it a day trip for you, or do you have to stay somewhere? Food. What are your dailies that you have to account for? So the cost side has many factors, right? And I feel like that's something that subconsciously or consciously factors into everybody's decisions on where they're going to play. So distance combined with cost, features of a field, the types of games, props, maybe. Some of you, I know flat out, rules and staffing account for your decision as well. I love how they ref games here. Crossfire has a fantastic staging, check-in and staging. Does that factor in? Rental fleet, if you're bringing new people, and everybody has rentals. All the fields have rentals, but is there something you like better? Rule sets, like as a launcher guy, and this only matters for bigger games, launcher rules matter to me. I want to know what the rules are. Grenade rules, pyro rules. Is that a factor for you? I will go this far because I've been an advocate for this as well, but I realize it can be contentious for the fields because they want to be as inclusive as possible. I like milsim rules, and when I say milsim rules, I don't need medic rules per se, but things like roll-based gun rules. 1 joule and under, full auto anywhere. Anything at 1.5 is just a regular rifleman, semi-only. LMG rules, sniper rules. Those vary wildly across the fields, and I wish there was kind of a standard to that. DMR rules. And part of the reason I think that fields and game organizers don't do role-based gun rules is because it's a bear to manage and maintain. Like, what is your gun? Oh, it's a blah, blah, blah. Is it really? Because I'm that guy. I will work the rules. I will watch your rules of what's required. And if you aren't uber specific, I'll find a loophole. And then I have my AAP is now an MG. It's not. It's terrible. Right? You can't do that. So I do like those kinds of rules. But I don't expect I don't expect them at open sessions, because open sessions, again, are just a gun-off situation. But at larger games, I really like that. So that, for me, again, if we're just talking about decision matrix, I like to know that. I also just like to know the rules so I know what I'm getting into. So decision matrix. What factors in for you? What's important to you when you're deciding this is where I'm going to spend my money and my time on any given weekend? I've said it before, you have one weekend a month to play. One day a month to play. What are your factors for getting into that? What else did I want to talk about today? So this is kind of a weird tangent. And I'm bringing it up because I am a heavy user of it. How do you feel about pyro? And I'll include all pyro. I'll include smoke, grenades, different kinds of grenades, launchables, which not everybody gets to deal with. I know that. I love grenades. I find smoke to be limited in its use, but more recently I've been like, oh yeah, it's nice to have at least a little bit of smoke on me. For those of you who have seen me play games like GAG, I'll go through a box. I'll go through a box of EG67s on an open session. At larger games, I might go through a case. Now, I'm a dealer, so I buy my own. So, again, at $10 a pop for the average person, $10 is MAP for EG67s. That's a lot of money, right? That's an investment on top of other things. But if you guys have seen me at GAG, I don't carry a regular gun. The last 3 or 4. I carry a launcher, shooting tennis balls or Index, and I just carry grenades. Is that a little short-sighted? Yes. And I've totally had moments where I'm like, I just have to eliminate one player, and I've thrown a grenade to kill that player, and it seemed like overkill. And of course, now everybody has heard me because there's no silent kills with a grenade. But that's how I play. That is fundamentally a way I play that I know other people don't. But for those of you who maybe carry 1 or 2, or those who are like, $10 is a lot of money, and let me add in, let's say it's not pyro, let's just say grenades in general on top of all this. So maybe you have your Thunder Bees, maybe you have your reusables. I'm not a fan, and if I do have some stuff, I might buy some more. I might buy some of the 40 Max Whirly Birds just because I feel like I should have a couple, and I want to review them as well. But include that into your thought process here about grenades and pyro. Do you use them? Do you find value in them? I really think it's changed how I play. 100% it's changed how I play. Good and bad, right? I'm an older guy. I probably shouldn't be rushing. I shouldn't be the guy rushing in to try to take something, a position. But when I have grenades, I'm like, okay, that'll solve this. That'll solve this. If I'm in an indoor, I'll breach a room. Throw a grenade first, but I'll breach that room. All right, no big deal. How about you? Do you like grenades? Do you find the rules confusing? 10-foot kill radius, 20-foot. Some fields have different rules. Kill radius based on sound, but if you get hit by a projectile, 100% you're out. Is that too open-ended for you? I find, because I use grenades more, I'm more forgiving on what I'm willing to let people, is that 10 feet or 12 feet? I don't care anymore. I'll call it. because I know how expensive they are, and I think it's fun. And I would like to think that if I'm the guy who's throwing it, that the other player will be like, oh yeah, no, cool, I'll take that. And I say, if someone throws a grenade and you're not sure, just take it. Like, we're all respawning anyway. But what about you? Do you use grenades? Do you like grenades? Do you like the mechanic? Has it changed how you play? Is it too expensive? Are the rules too amorphous for you? Let me know. Let the community know. Because I feel like once we can get a little bit more of an understanding, or dare I say a standard, maybe the rules change a little bit. I don't know. Again, I'm not unhappy with any of the rules, but I also know the rules and I use the rules. But what do you guys think? Okay, that's all I'm going to talk about for this morning. Again, it's August 1st, 2026. I hope to see you out on the field today. If not, I hope to see you soon on another field. Gabe from the Minnesota Airsoft Association. Be safe. Have a great day. And get out and play some Airsoft.